Yeah.
Oh, I put it there. I figured you'd want it in.
Watch it land in like poop or something. Because all of the poop on the floor of our apartment.
That's not true. There's no poop on our apartment.
Yet.
Was that all the setup for that joke? Because I can't be mad about it if it was.
Hello!
Hey,
I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm eating a sandwich now.
He is eating. So why are you eating on our podcast?
I'm hungry.
We spent like 5 minutes with the microphones on, not doing anything else. He couldn't eat then.
No.
You know what everybody loves? The sounds of high quality chewing.
Listen, first off, our mics are far from high quality.
They're better than low quality.
Second, I'll lean back.
Lean back. Lean back. What kind of sandwich you eating?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Ah.
It's delicious.
That sounds really good.
The champion sandwich.
That sounds really good right now, actually.
I'm on like, your boy's on a real tight budget right now. So, because of that, I spent all $25 on all the food I'll need for the week.
Nice.
Outside of eating out like once or twice. So,
That's
got
not,
a loaf of bread, some
bad.
peanut butter, some jelly, and some other stuff.
That's not bad.
Like meat, spinach, cheese.
All the usual.
Tell them about your week while I plug my laptop in real quick.
We act like we never prepare for this show.
I want to talk about it.
What is this, number 18?
17, I think.
17? You'd think we'd have taken all of our pre-measures at this point. My week's been okay. I mean, it's Monday at the time of recording this, so not much of a week to go off of so far.
Hey, stop talking for a second.
Uh-huh.
Alright, you can start talking again.
I can talk again? Alright, talking again. Are the levels still good?
Yeah.
Alright. I mean, not much is really happening. The Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's freaking nuts.
Which is cool, if you're into the sports thing.
Super sportsy.
Justin Timberlake put out a new album, which I'm in love with.
It's really good.
It's so good. It's so good. Man of the Woods is the name of it, if for some reason you haven't heard it yet. Go do it. It's really good. It's really different for JT. It's still got a lot of like the dancey kind of stuff, but there's a good handful of songs on there that have a lot of like acoustic instruments. There's one song that has a dual harmonica solo, which was hot.
My favorites off the album. I'm looking up the album because I can't remember all of the names.
Living Off the Land is probably my favorite.
I was literally going to say Living Off the Land and Flannel. Actually, I loved.
Flannel's really good.
I loved the Hers interlude leading into Flannel.
Yeah,
and then
I think
Flannel
that makes
itself.
it. Like I can't listen to Flannel without listening to Hers first.
Montana, that whole like back section.
The second
Breeze
half
on
of
the
the
Pond,
album is so strong.
Young Man and Hard Stuff are really good.
I mean, the first two singles, "Filthy" and "Supplies," are really really good, and like "Say Something" is also very good. My favorites though are "Wave," and then Montana, "Breeze Off the Pond," and "Living Off the Land" are just oof. All three of those back to back are just awesome.
Yeah, that whole. I honestly think I like the back half of the album better than the first half.
Yeah, the second half is really,
I don't
really
love
strong.
Midnight Summer Jam and Sauce.
I really like Midnight Summer Jam. Sauce I'm not crazy about.
Morning Light and Say Something like aren't bad, but I don't love them.
I like both of those.
But like for me, I was like, the album's okay until it hit Hers, and then I was like, whoa. And then the rest of the album, I was like, okay,
that back half ratchets it up, man. I mean, like "Filthy" and "Supplies" are fun songs, and so is "Midnight Summer Jam." That's how I felt about it. Same with "Wave," and then it just really kicks in on that second half. I was super super impressed. I've been jamming that album like all weekend. I can't stop listening to it.
It's the best album to have come out so far this year by far.
Yeah, I might agree with that.
I mean, I don't know what else has come out in 2018 either. Like, I can't think of like other good albums that have come out so far this year, but
I mean, my first thought is August Runs Red re-released Messengers.
I don't count re-releases though. When it counts like
I know, but it's all I've been listening to up until JT's came out. What else did come out this year? That's a really good thought. Also, look at you pulling out your brand new phone. Why don't you tell them about that, Samuel?
Yeah, so
Sam joined the 21st century.
I did. I got a new job. I'm working as a youth pastor now for
Yay.
a church north of Columbus, Ohio, where we live.
Yay!
I'm in Delaware, Ohio, which actually
Yay!
The Wednesday video that you guys saw 2 days ago was filmed in downtown Delaware.
Yeah.
I'm filming that tomorrow, actually, but you'll see it before this video because that's how uploads work.
Because this video is in the future, technically.
It's a future video. Future. I just watched that episode of SpongeBob last week.
That's so good.
One of my favorites. But either way, so I was like, I should probably upgrade so I can be like a good communicator type person in a communicator type role. So I dragged Chris and our friend Philippe,
Uncle Philo,
Uncle Philo, drug those too long to Polaris Mall.
Yes.
Which is a mall in Columbus.
Yes.
Well, kind of outside Columbus, but in the general Columbus area, I think it's the Lewis Center, technically.
It's considered Columbus.
But either way, went out there, got an iPhone 8 Plus. I love it. I got a Cowboy Bebop background right now.
Of course you do.
It's dope. And then on the inside is my grr and me, but most
His
importantly,
woman.
my grr.
Shout out to Sam's woman.
Shout outs to Caitlin Lee Ziegler. You're super cute, and I love you.
Throw the whole name out there, why don't you? So here's the thing. Justin Timberlake's the only full album that's come out this year that I've been really into, with the exception of Sleeping Giant's last album came out this year, and it's hot.
You posted a picture of that to Instagram like an hour ago.
Actually, that was the previous album.
Oh, well, shows what I know about Sleeping Giants. Nothing.
That was actually a previous album, which really does make for like perfect gym music. Outside of that, though, there's a lot of like singles and EPs. For instance, Tiger Drive has dropped a couple songs.
Oof, love Tiger Drive.
The new Drake songs are hot. The new song from My Epic is really good. All the singles from the Black Panther album are really good.
What's the one with Weeknd and Kendrick?
Pray for Me.
Pray for Me. It's so good.
It's a dope song, dude.
It might be my favorite Weeknd song. As somebody who doesn't like the Weeknd very much.
I like the Weeknd a lot.
You know what EP was horrible? So Mike Shinoda, who you may know from Linkin Park, he's the rapper in Linkin Park.
No,
I think he does more than just that, but he's like one thing. I don't know.
No, yeah, I know who he is. I didn't know that he had solo stuff.
So you know Fort Minor? Remember the name? 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
No bells. No bells are ringing.
Or, I miss you so.
Let me go ahead and stop you right there. Probably not.
Feels like it's been forever
No.
since you've been gone.
Nothing.
So he had a project called Fort Minor, which came out. I'm not even going to bother looking it up. Anyway, Fort Minor had an album that came out. It was him, and he did a lot of the stuff with a group called Styles of Beyond, who are like an underground hip-hop duo.
Okay.
But it's legitimately a very good album. It was very popular, and it was good. It was a good work, right?
Sure.
So he hasn't done anything solo besides that album that I know of. Maybe he has, and if so, then I'm sorry for being dumb and uninformed. Either way, he dropped an EP that I think he dropped it a few days ago, but I just heard it today for the first time. It's 3 songs.
Right.
It's bad.
Oy.
The second song was like blowing up because it's about him dealing with Chester committing suicide.
Sure.
He's talking about like going to shows and like having to like continue on as like Linkin Park and like do their tour and like
yeah, I mean that's got to be something like that's got to be really difficult
and like
to deal with.
Lyrically, I loved it. Lyrically, I was like, yeah, like this is cool. It's super raw. It's just him being. Oh, but you should listen to that song. Like as somebody who like to some extent, I think you have at least some childhood connection to Linkin Park. I think it's a song worth listening to.
Their first album I listened to.
I was a huge Linkin Park fan in middle school. I listened to them all the time. I still love their Collision Course album with Jay-Z. It's one of my favorite collaboration albums of all time.
It's like 2 of my least favorite artists.
I don't like Jay-Z that much, but there's something about that. The Numb Encore remix is just legitimately one of my favorite songs. I would put it in my top 20 probably favorite songs of all time.
Oh, yeah. That's high.
Maybe 25. It depends. It just depends on, like, here's the problem. First off, in my top 20 songs, do all of Vivaldi's 4 seasons count as individual songs, or is it all one complete work?
That's the problem with trying to determine songs as things, because, I mean, technically Vivaldi's seasons are
12.
4 individual movements.
And with 4 in each movement, or with 3 in each, I think 3 pieces in each movement.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 12 songs total if you counted them. And 4 seasons, I think, is one of the greatest composed works of all time.
I agree.
But
I agree. I used to play violin.
A contemporary of Vivaldi once said of Vivaldi, I can't remember who it was who said it about him, but he said, Vivaldi did not write 500 concertos. He wrote one concerto 500 times, which to me feels like old school Burns at their finest. Like that,
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel like
100%. No,
like,
here's the thing: is if he were releasing music today, he'd get slammed for all of it sounding too similar.
yeah, probably. Either way, so No Encore is great, but you should listen to it. It's a raw song and lyrically it's good.
I'll check it out.
The instrumentals are okay, but like vocally, like I'm just like he doesn't sound good.
Nah.
He just sounds like a white dude talking into a mic.
So like a spoken word thing.
No, but not like that. Like if you like a bad white rapper is what it sounds like. Like new Eminem.
Logic.
A bad white rapper. I think Logic's okay.
I don't know. I'm just throwing names that I know out there.
He's better than new Eminem. Don't listen to it. Do not listen to Eminem's new album.
I don't like old Eminem.
Eminem's the greatest rapper of all time. If you ignore everything since he came back, if you consider Eminem as having actually retired after the Eminem show, or not the Eminem show, after Curtain Call, he's the greatest rapper of all time.
Here's the problem: is because he kept releasing work, I feel like that sort of knocks him out of the running. No, if he continues making bad music, you can't just pick and choose.
I know.
That's the thing: is you have to look at a whole artist.
If you go on like his like 3 album stretch of like Marshall Mathers LP, Slim Shady LP, and Eminem show, probably the greatest 3 album stretch of any musical artist in history.
Sure.
But his next three of Relapse, Recovery, and Revival are just like Recovery has some stuff on it that are good, but it's so bad. Don't listen to Revival, please.
I've
People
never...
out there, the internet. I know you aren't going to, but people of the internet, don't listen to Revival.
I'm not a big Eminem fan, and I never was. Not really my thing. But I mean, I think I brought this up on previous podcasts. I'm a recent hip hop convert, and while there's always like handfuls of stuff that I've kind of always listened to, like the songs here and there, I didn't start really getting more into the rap scene until the last few years. And so Eminem is just an artist that never really struck a chord with me.
It was like music was that one thing that in my like overprotective Christian household that I grew up in was like my mom like didn't monitor super closely. Like shout out to my mom if you're watching this. Maybe you should have monitored the music I listened to more closely. But
I had the opposite thing where my parents very closely monitored any media that I took in until I was about 16 or 17. And that was when I started developing my own musical tastes. And weirdly enough, that's also when all of the metal started. And then a couple of years, like, I went real hard into metalcore real fast, and then, well, that's never gone away, but then in the last, like, 5 or 6 years, I started getting really into, like, rap and hip-hop and that sort of thing, too. And it's always really funny, like, trying to go back and talk to my brother and sister now about music, because I listen to mainstream stuff and they don't. My sister does more than my brother, but I'll be talking about the new Drake single around my parents, and they're like, I don't even know who that is. And
I feel like knowing Eli, he'll never be one who is super into like mainstream music. Because Eli just kind of does his own thing.
He does what he wants, and I mean, he still enjoys a good handful of mainstream stuff. He's just not listening to like, you know, top 20 or whatever. Yeah. It's like nothing that's going to cycle too much on the radio, which I think is kind of where I sit for the most part too.
For the most part, I would say.
For the most part, and I mean, there's obvious exceptions. I mean, I'm a big Justin Timberlake fan, and we were just talking about like The Weeknd and Kendrick. But I mean, for the most part, I'm not listening to that. I'm not super into radio pop. I think is the
because radio pop's mostly speaking not
good. And again, you have artists like Justin Timberlake that actually, you know, craft like good stuff. I mean, for the most part, I'm not super into the music machine of popular music.
I could count on 2 fingers the number of popular like pop music musicians who I like. Justin Timberlake and Kesha. Love Kesha.
Kesha's good. There's probably others that I can't think of off the top of my head because I'm very tired. But I'm sure there are others that I enjoy. But I mean, it's a very small amount.
Old boy bands, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Those, all right. Now we're talking. All right.
Which is really funny because Justin Timberlake was part of NSYNC.
Exactly. NSYNC better than Backstreet Boys.
Which I found out yesterday that JT's in his mid-30s. Dude, he had to be like 18 or 19 in NSYNC then. I had no idea. Because I wasn't super into them back in the day. Because again, I was very young. My parents were very, very close about the stuff that I listened to. Everybody else was listening to NSYNC. I was listening to DC Talk.
I'm still listening to DC Talk.
I haven't listened to them in a minute, but I mean, I enjoy them still.
I made so at work today, I was like I was like done with most things I had to do for the day. So I
Yeah.
was like, I'll make a playlist.
Yeah.
So I made like a 60 some odd song like Christian hip hop playlist. It kept recommending like DC Talk to me, and I was like, no, like I'm not putting. Like, listen, I love DC Talk, but I'm not putting them in a Christian hip hop playlist that I'm making.
They kind of created Christian hip hop.
I know, but like you putting them alongside like modern day like Mineo,
Lecrae or Mineo or something
like,
would
it
be
just
really
didn't
odd.
feel right.
No, the vibe's super different.
And I have some old school stuff.
In the 90s, they were making 80s hip hop because I mean there was that joke for a long time that Christian music was always a few years behind. And I mean, it's really still in the past like 10 years that I feel like Christian music has caught up to mainstream in
The
terms
only
of production
genre
values.
that has been consistently at the forefront for Christian music is metalcore.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, Christian metalcore has always been at the forefront of metalcore. Maybe a little less so in the last few years. But,
I'd also say that, though, just because the metalcore scene has kind of died down since we were in high school.
like,
But,
Columbus...
I mean, it's not the cool thing anymore.
See, you didn't have the fortune of growing up in Columbus, which was one of the metal, like, capitals.
I was in Florida at the time though, which was also one actually where a lot of really popular metalcore bands like Under Oath and A Day to Remember and a lot of other bands came out of Florida. I remember hearing about Attack long before they hit mainstream popularity.
Who I still hold is not that good.
No, they're not good.
Sorry, Caleb Shomo. You're great. Okay, you're okay.
You're okay.
You had one good album.
That last Beartooth album was not good.
They had one good album. And a few good songs off Aggressive.
What really good songs off Aggressive? That album was just forgettable.
Sick of You or Sick of Me, whatever one. Sick of
See,
something.
I can't even remember the name of it. And
Hated. I like Hated, and I like Aggressive. I like.
I did not like Hated at all.
What's the one that's like this?
You want to talk about almost like radio friendly stuff, like the lyricism of Aggressive felt cookie cutter. I was like, everything he was singing about, I was like, I've heard this stuff a million times.
Fairweather Friend and Burnout, I like. Always Dead.
Always Dead was good.
Here's the thing.
Because that was the one hardcore song.
Here's the thing about this album, though. If you listen to go back and listen to Disgusting. Disgusting's the same way, but because it was their first album, I think we view it like lyrically. Disgusting doesn't do anything new either.
Lyrically, here's where I'll disagree with you to a point. In that, Disgusting was, and I mean this is granted just things he said in interviews. I don't want to necessarily speak before Caleb Shoma, but a lot of it was personal stuff that he was dealing with that he used almost as a therapy because I mean it can be therapeutic writing music. Yeah. And so it was very personal struggles that he was going with, and I mean his lyricism may not be the best thing in the world, but it you could tell that like it had that the genuine emotion behind it. It felt raw, which was kind of their thing. That was cool. Aggressive, both audibly, like the production on it feels really like overproduced and a little too clean, and all. I mean, the song structure is the same and everything, but also lyrically, it felt like he'd kind of got out everything he wanted to say, but then he was like, "Oh shit, I still have to write another album." It was like, "I'll just say the same things I did on the last one," and it just there was nothing about Aggressive that felt genuine to me. It felt like, "Hey, we're a really popular band, and I'm going to write a really popular album."
Well, like when your whole shtick is like teen angst. To some extent,
and I mean, I understand too that I mean I'm not necessarily in that as well, and I mean even during Disgusting, I kind of understood that. I was like, yeah, it's a really teen angsty sort of thing.
But you can't
but I mean
that.
I'm also just yeah, and that's the thing is like you gotta switch focus. I mean you can only write about teen angst for so long.
Well, that's why ABR has been good for so long. ABR was really a teen angst band.
They've never been a
teen. They talk about things that like were like more Under Oath the same way, right? There was so much more.
They started out as a teen angst.
Well, yeah, but they progressed beyond that, and I don't know if Caleb Shomo and Beartooth have the ability to progress beyond that.
Part of my issue with Aggressive though too is also, and again, is just production wise, like it lost its edge. There's nothing that feels raw about New Beartooth, which was originally part of their whole image. It was what they sold themselves at. It was like, we're a hardcore band from Columbus, Ohio, dealing with these personal things, and they kind of lost that along the way as it sort of blew up. And now they're a rock band that plays in arenas. You know what I mean? It's a different vibe, and that's not my kind of vibe.
And for the record, Beartooth, if you ever watch this, we still like. It's not a knock.
Not at
a
all.
lot of love for for disgusting.
Yeah, and then
Disgusting a good album.
and then especially the sick EP before it. Yeah, and I'm not trying to say Beartooth is bad. That last album just wasn't something that I typically enjoy, and I guess I was hoping to get something different out of it. But I mean, it felt like their style changed, which is a very natural thing for a band.
Yeah.
And I still hold to my comments about the lyricism. I just don't. It almost feels lazy.
It is. I'm sorry, it is.
But I mean, that's kind of their vibe now, is that they're this rock band that plays arena shows, and there are clearly lots of people that enjoy that thing. And if you enjoy that thing, then that's great. That's just not something that I enjoy. Outside of like Muse.
I do like Muse.
They're so good. They're so good. I love Muse.
You know who I used to like? Who's in that rock band that plays arenas? Is Coldplay.
I've never liked Coldplay.
Old Coldplay is so good.
I've always, anytime I hear Coldplay, I can only think of the Family Guy joke. It's like these two guys talking, and one of them was like, "Hey, do you listen to Coldplay?" And he was like, "Am I a boring white guy? Of course I listen to Coldplay." It's like this dude in a beanie with an acoustic guitar. Like, so perfect.
The thing for me about Coldplay is everything up through Viva La Vida, I think, is legitimately like very artistically done, like meaningful lyrics. Mm-hmm. Everything since then felt like rock tailor-made for the radio. When they started to get more popular, that's when I lost it. Like Viva La Vida, up through that, I was like, this is so good.
Sure.
And then I have a hard time listening to any of their new albums all the way through because I get bored.
Yeah.
And halfway through, I'm like, I can be doing anything else right now.
That's something that I see in a lot of like metalcore bands. I mean, Beartooth went the way. Of Mice and Men quickly went that way. I started to see that with like Issues.
Memphis Mayfire.
Memphis Mayfire. No, my problems with Memphis Mayfire are very different.
They're bad now.
I love you, Maddie Mullins, but your new stuff is not good.
Maddie Mullins, my girlfriend and I have talked about this a bunch. Maddie Mullins is my man crush, and if I could look like any man in the world, I think I would look like Maddie Mullins.
He really does have a big man crush on Maddie Mullins.
I don't know what it is, but Maddie Mullins is the most attractive man alive to me.
That's Jake Lures for me, man.
I know. I do also. Jake Lures and the guy from Era.
JT KV?
Yeah, JT KV and Jake Lures are like next on the list for me, but...
Dude, JT KV is huge.
He's so big.
I thought Jake was big, and then JT came on stage and was like, oh my god.
That was on Chris's birthday.
It was.
A year ago.
I like Jake's style a little more than JT. The way Jake dresses, I want to dress, but I have to get ripped first.
Listen, you can't wear cutoffs if you're fat.
It's not even just cutoffs. Everything else he wears is
I know,
great.
but in general.
I love
that
that style, and it's like I look at that and I was like, I got to figure out how to start dressing like that.
Did you see them at the Grammys? This is August Burns Red, for those of you who don't know, the band we're talking about.
They looked
Jake Lures is the vocalist for August Burns Red.
They looked real
Did
nice.
you see them at the Grammys? I've never seen Jake Lures in that nice of a suit before.
That was their second time at the Grammys. I saw them dressed like that the last time.
At all the other award shows, and they go like the alternative music
awards.
Well,
then he wore his Bruins beanie to the thing, too.
Yeah, no, I love Jake Lures.
It was really funny. It was the day before the Grammys. They were posting on Instagram of them at the barber or whatever. They went to a barber in Albuquerque. They flew from Albuquerque to the Grammys.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, I've probably been to that barber. I had.
But August Burns Red.
They changed their name. I don't remember what they changed their name to, but shout out anyway.
Shout out to you, barber dude. You're doing barber stuff. Keep cutting the hairs, and
I need to find a good barber around here. I don't know where to go. I've been going to Sport Clips forever.
I cut hair.
I want to find I want a legitimate barber, man.
Dude, go to. This is if you're. I'm sorry, you guys.
If you're watching this and you're local to Columbus, Ohio, and you know a good barber, I'm going for I want some hipster shit. Please send me recommendations.
I can guarantee you, there's a barbershop in the Short North. It's like 2. I think.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know there's at least one on High Street that I've seen.
I don't want to drive out to the Short North every 2 weeks for a haircut, though.
You get your haircut every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Jeez, I love being bald. Being bald is awesome.
Well, I also realize that I put a little more maintenance into mine than most people, but
you don't know how much money.
But I mean that's one of those things that I actually care very much about.
You know how much money I spend on hair?
0, because you shave your own head.
I buy a pack of razor blades every couple months.
Okay.
It's about the extent of the money that I spend. And razor blades are freaking expensive. Don't get me wrong.
True.
But that is the extent of my hair care expense. It's wonderful.
I spend about $40 to $60 a month cutting my hair.
It's a ludicrous amount of money.
No, it's worth it. My hair looks good.
Chris's hair does look good.
I wore a hat tonight because I'm lazy.
My baldness.
I just wear hats a lot because I'm in a bit of a transition period.
It's a fact.
I'm in a bit of a transition period right now, and I don't care to style, to take more of the effort to style it at the moment. But this next haircut should be it should have grown long enough so I can put the fade back into it. It's gonna be higher up, and it's gonna be a much tighter fade. Now I'm gonna have a 1 around the
Tight
top.
fade.
It's gonna be a high fade. It's gonna be a 1 around the top. So it's not. What I've been doing was blending it in, but I actually had to get it cut more often because just the way my hair grows, it was jutting straight out and didn't blend well with the curly on top. So I went back to the almost undercut short on the sides, and I'm gonna keep that at that 1 there, and then fade the rest down to where it's almost gonna be like skin, like right at that line, and then all the way down, and it's gonna look dope.
Dope.
I'm really excited about it, and then I'm gonna grow out the top of it through the summer. I think I'm gonna let it get long, and then I'll probably cut it back down for the wedding.
Probably a good call.
Yeah.
I have this kid that I work with. Shout out to Eduardo Jimenez. I think his last name's Jimenez. If you're watching, Ed, I'm sorry if your last name's not Jimenez, and I was just racist for assuming that was your last name.
Eduardo Lopez.
But either way, Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't know. I think it's Jimenez. And I'm gonna go with that for now. He has been trying to talk me into, and I'm not going to do it. So spoiler alert. Into just growing out like the samurai, like having like a square, and a ponytail coming out of the square.
I will move out.
I was like, first off, maybe like an anime that looks cool, like, but in real life, you look
awful.
Stupid.
It's awful.
And white trash. Like the Prince Zuko, like season 1 Prince Zuko, when he had like just the ponytail on top, and he looked so bad. I remember when Zuko first cuts it off at the end of season 2,
and it looks so good.
or somewhere maybe I don't know, mid season 2 when he defects from the Fire Nation.
It was at the end of season 2,
and like he just had that stupid little patch there from where he cut the ponytail off, and it looked so stupid. That's how it would look when I would start growing it.
So that tells me then, and it just kind of occurred to me, like his hair continues growing out. It just occurred to me, he probably shaved his head all around that until then. That's so much effort.
Yeah. You would have shaved everything on the ponytail.
Like, literally everything except for the ponytail.
No, when I was a kid, I
there.
thought it was so stupid. I remember thinking how stupid it was when I was a kid.
He looks much better with the long hair at the end of the show.
No, Zuko looks freaking BA in season 3 when he has long hair. He looks so cool. Zuko is the coolest character in Avatar.
Agreed.
Fight me.
No, I don't think anyone will disagree with that. He is. Well, I think he's probably because he's also got the most interesting character arc.
What's your favorite Avatar character?
Zuko.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
Favorite Avatar character?
Always. Well, here's the thing. I've always liked the Firebenders.
Fair. If I could be a bender, I'd be a firebender for sure.
100%.
That being said, Zuko's not my favorite.
Really?
Zuko sits third for me.
Ooh.
Goes Sokka.
Yeah.
I love Sokka.
Sokka's my number 2.
Toph.
Toph's my
I
number 3.
love Toph. She's incredible. Toph. I think it might be
Toph.
Yeah, Toph is a smash guy.
Yeah. Also my nickname.
It's true, Topher. But yeah, no, those are the three best Avatar characters.
What's funny is I have the same top 3, just different order.
My favorite like side character who gets no screen time is probably Zuko's girlfriend, whose name I'm forgetting. Not May. May is the super happy one who like dances around and like hits pressure points.
Yes.
What's Zuko's girlfriend's name?
The real moody one.
I think she's so funny.
I don't remember.
I like her. The whole Kyoshi Warriors I enjoy.
The Kyoshi Warriors were cool.
I like May. May's funny.
Does Momo count?
No, Momo's the main character. Momo and Appa are main characters.
Okay, fair enough.
Who are great. I love Momo and Appa.
That's true.
Best episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, by far, Lost Tales of Ba Sing Se. It has 4 little vignettes, and it ends with the one where Iroh is like going around town, and then at the end he's like...
I might have to change one of my answers.
Iroh. Oh, I forgot about Iroh!
I might kick out Toph for Iroh.
I might kick all of them for Iroh.
No, Zuko's still my favorite, just again because he's got what I consider to be the most interesting character arc over the whole series.
No doubt.
But I love Iroh.
I don't think if you watch season 1 of Avatar, you ever think he would defect. Like I don't. I think.
No, yeah.
I think you just think it'll end with him and Aang facing off and him getting defeated, and that'll be it for Zuko. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think. I think everyone knows that like the battle at the end of season 1 is probably going to happen. It ended up being Katara versus Zuko, not Aang versus Zuko, because Aang is in the spirit world and whatnot. But either way, everyone kind of knows that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I remember I watched at my friend's house for a sleepover birthday party. It was like his 13th birthday party. Something like that. He's a couple years older than me. When the first episode of Avatar debuted, I watched it there, and I watched every single episode as they came out. Like I legitimately, they came out on I think Friday nights, either Thursday or Friday nights, and I watched every single one of them as they came out. So it was like I watched it through. There was never a point in my mind. Now I was like 11, so I don't know how smart I was, but there was never a point in my mind where I ever thought Zuko would turn.
No, they made it look really convincing. Was it in season 1, the one where he dresses up with the dragon mask and everything? And
he starts, I think, a little bit in season 1. Season 2 is most of like where he's the blue dragon and like does all of that stuff.
Blue dragon, yeah. That first time when he does it and saves Aang's life, and then you find out it's Zuko, I was like, whoa, like what on earth?
That's when the Admiral Zhao has him, who is just I hate him so much. He's a good character. But he's like you just hate him.
Something that I've always felt about Avatar is that it is too well written to just be a show on Nickelodeon. Like I can't get over how well written each one of the characters are on that show.
I will say, my girlfriend and I have been watching. We started watching through it together like last year, and then we kind of got a little distracted. But we were watching through it for a while together. We watched through all of season 1, like half of season 2.
Yeah.
Season 1 has some really bad dialogue.
That makes
There's
sense.
a few bits of dialogue in season 1 that I was like, ugh.
That doesn't surprise me.
Season 2 and 3 are much better dialogue-wise, but I think I've forgotten how bad some of the dialogue in season 1 was.
That's usually how it goes with those kind of shows. Try watching the first season of Pokemon.
I did. When Indigo League went up on
Netflix,
I watched all of it.
I still like it. I'm going to be honest
It's a childhood thing.
Did you know I own the first 3 Pokemon movies on Blu-ray?
Yeah, we've talked about this before. I haven't watched them.
No, we've not.
We should.
We totally should.
Is 2000 the one with Mewtwo?
No, the original one is Pokemon the first movie.
What is the one where Ash dies?
Pokemon the first movie.
That all happens in the first movie?
Yeah, that's Mewtwo. Mewtwo and Mew are fighting each other, and Ash is trying to get it to stop, and so he runs in the middle of the battle right as Mewtwo and Mew fire beams at each other, and it turns Ash to stone.
And then Pikachu cries.
And then Pikachu cries, and it's the sadness of all the Pokemon realizing that it was their pointless fighting that ended up taking this kid's life, and Mewtwo is like, that's when Mewtwo has his change of heart and everything, and that's a fantastic movie. Oh my god.
We should watch that sometime.
Going back to music, this is something you, internet, might be interested in. I don't know if y'all know this, I'm actually a very big Pokemon fan. I was born in 92, so I was at the perfect age to hit Pokemania when it hit the States in 99, or 98, and that's something that I've lived with forever.
I'm a Pokemaniac. I've lived with it for my entire life.
Ever since.
That's something at the beginning of like a PSA right now.
There is a trainer type in the game. It's called Pokemaniac, actually. And most of them have like what would be considered like most of them have like what would be considered like staple Pokemon in their party. Like all the Pokemon you see in the original games just had Pikachus. And they usually have like Clefairy or Snubbull or something like that, like almost like mascot level stuff. Chansey.
And some HIV, a little bit of herpes. Chlamydia.
But, and this is kind of going back to the music too, there's this artist, a guy named Brandon Burks, who goes under the pseudonym, I don't remember his pseudonym, but he creates, he made an album like 4 or 5 years ago called Pokemon Reorchestrated is his project, and a few years back he released the Kanto Symphony, where he took all of the music from Red and Blue and rearranged it for an orchestra, and recorded that and released that. And you can get that on Apple Music and Spotify and that sort of thing. The brilliance of it is that it's not actually played by a full orchestra. It's a mix of an electronic orchestra that he mixes himself, as well as bringing in solo or like a small handful of musicians and recording them and re-recording them and then layering them and then mixing them to sound like they're playing in a concert hall. Like the actual technicality of it is unbelievable, and it's crazy to think that this one guy mixed all of that to make it sound like it's a full orchestra when in fact it's not.
Just for a Pokemon album?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's incredible. From the moment it starts, you'll just be like, oh, the feels, and I mean the arrangements are outstanding and all that stuff. So bringing it back to great 2018 releases, he released the Johto album.
Ooh.
It's called Johto Legends. He put that out this year, and I can't believe I let this slip when we were talking about that. But that is also fantastic, as huge fans of the Gold and Silver games. My buddies and I, Ty and Mike, shout out, just started playing through Pokemon Crystal over the past 2 weekends. And I've been slowly chipping away at that as I go about through things. I'm not powering through the campaign like I normally do when I play a Pokemon game, which has been a lot of fun. Because I've kind of changed the approach that I take at it, where I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick Pokemon I like. I'm not doing a lot of min-maxing and stuff. Like, I'm just running through this campaign and having a good time with it. And I never actually finished Pokemon Crystal back in the day, because I'm 25 and those were the games that I grew up with. I still hold that the Game Boy Color era games are the best ones. But I love it. I've played every game since, or at least like one version of every generation since, with the exception of the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which I'll probably play at some point. I haven't had the desire for whatever reason. I found out that it's not a sequel like Black 2 and White 2 was. That it's a almost like an expansion,
Like an enhanced edition.
Yeah, there's new stuff in it, but for the most part, it's the same. And I was just like,
The Black and White series is weird.
Black and White's really good.
It's good. It's different from
which was nice. I like that it was so different, and that's kind of polarizing for a lot of people, because the original Black and White introduced. It was the first time that they were like, we're starting from scratch, 150 brand new Pokemon, just like the original Red and Blue games. You could not get any of the pre-existing Pokemon until you beat the Elite Four, like finish the main storyline. Then it's like, all right, now we're bringing it in. So you had to go through the whole game with entirely new Pokemon, which was a lot of fun. That it kind of brought that old, I have no idea what I'm going to find or what's going to happen in this, which is cool. But then they did an additional thing, which, for those that don't know, the Pokemon cycle is generally you'll have your main 2 releases. So in this case, Black and White. And then a year later, you'll have a sort of third release, which is like an enhanced edition. The original 2 will have exclusives to each one, and some of the events will usually slightly differ. Like the story will be slightly different. Yeah. But I mean, nothing outstanding. And then the third one will come out, which will have a sort of enhancements, extra stuff as part of the story, and then usually they'll kind of rearrange where you can get certain Pokemon and then add. That's where most of the post game stuff tends to come in, is in that third version. What they did for Black and White was, rather than a third version, they did Black 2 and White 2, which were legitimate sequels in that the storyline continued. It was 3 years past the events of the first game. You played as different characters, but all of those characters were still there. And you interacted with them in that, and then again they changed where all of the Pokemon are located and added on the story and stuff, and it was really, really cool. It's got like the largest post game of any of the Pokemon games, which was a ton of fun. I mean, you could go legendary hunting or playing like the Pokemon World Championship and all this stuff. Like, there was a ton of cool stuff in that game. Black 2 and White 2 were so awesome. I can't recommend it. Like, definitely, like, play both of those games. Like, they're pretty easy to find nowadays still, and I highly recommend them.
I think my most disappointing Pokemon game will always be X and Y. I want to like X and Y.
I feel like if you didn't have the hype there for it previously, it's hard to get into. They're kind of boring.
The story I have never finished. I think Y is the one that I have, and I probably will never finish Y because it's just so boring.
I've played through both X and Y. I don't remember why I played through Y. Maybe I was just like, oh, I want to play. Those ones were just a big deal because it was Generation 6 was just huge for whatever, like
fairy types, mega evolutions, all
fairy
that.
Types, mega evolutions, like there was, and I mean, it was the first one to have like fully 3D battles and stuff too. Like they moved away from sprites, which everyone was like, wow, this is basically handheld Pokemon Stadium, but with an actual story and that sort of thing. And there were tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of callbacks to the original Red and Blue games as well. And so for longtime fans, and I mean, all these like gameplay adjustments and that sort of thing too. And so for people that had been running through the series since that was a kid, like that game was a really big deal. For people just coming in, it's kind of bleh. And I mean, after having played through it, I'm like, I don't want to play it again.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you played it twice, so
I did play. I did play.
I guess I'll stop now.
And that second time, I think I played through it because Brittany was playing through it at the same time. Like we played through it together.
Yeah.
Generation 7, Sun and Moon, I thought were much better because the setting was actually fun and the story was cool, and I like Hawaii.
I don't have pick up Sun and Moon. I have Y, and I have one of the. I think I have Omega Ruby.
The first like hour or two of Sun and Moon is so exposition-y. It's like to the point where I don't want to play through it again.
I mean, I'm probably not going to play Sun and Moon ever.
Just for anybody that wanted to play through it. But it was a shame because it's got a legitimately good story to it. And like I said, the setting's great and all the new Pokemon are super cool and that sort of thing. I forgot about the Ruby and Sapphire remakes. Those are fun.
Omega Ruby was a good game. I liked Omega Ruby.
Those are fun. I highly recommend because I mean they're basically Ruby and Sapphire again, which were very good games.
Yeah.
I have very good memories of the original Sapphire.
I think Ruby Sapphire is my favorite, and then Emerald. Emerald specifically, I think is my all-time favorite Pokemon game.
That was the third version to Ruby and Sapphire.
Yes.
Emerald was. I never picked up Emerald. That was one of the third versions. I never got around
didn't
to
have
playing.
Ruby and Sapphire. I just had Emerald. I never had Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, I had Sapphire. And for whatever reason, I didn't get around to playing Emerald. But I mean, that's like for the people that played Emerald like when they were younger, that's like continually been their favorite game in the whole series.
Emerald is legitimately great. You should play it. You can emulate it. I have an emulator on my laptop for Emerald.
I could get it on my DS.
Do they have it on 3DS?
There's an attachment you can get for it.
Oh, on the DS.
Yeah.
Oh, do you still have your DS?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got my R4 card.
I have mine. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have mine. When I got my 3DS, I have no idea I have one of the white ones. It's my fourth DS.
I got the red one.
Might be my third or fourth DS.
I got the red one and I love it.
Speaking of DS, I got Caitlin playing through Animal Crossing Wild World, which is the best Animal Crossing. Don't at me.
I'll agree with that.
I got it for Christmas last year,
if
like a year ago.
If they could just bring back the game of Wild World with New Leaf's graphics and quality of life adjustments, I don't think I'd ever play another video game again.
One of my friends in college always said, I am so glad Wild World didn't have a time clock, like of time spent in games. Like, I don't want to know how many hours of my life I spent playing that game. Oh my
gosh, I know.
It'd be in the probably 500, at least 400s for me. 300 to 400s at least.
It'd be a couple hundred for me too. I spent so much time in that game.
My sister and I, because we each got two of the like people on the account.
Heck yeah, you did.
And I remember one time I was like,
excuse me,
I was really wanting to make a new character. So I just went onto one of her characters, put all of the money she had in that character's bank account into our house, and then deleted that character. She was really so mad. I felt bad. Really I did feel kind of bad. But yeah, Caitlin, as an orange farmer, it's like all she really does is like pull weeds and farm oranges.
Heck yeah.
She complains about, I love it because she is not trapped by the Happy Home Club. She thinks it's stupid. Like, you know that club, like how you're trying to get like, a perfect score in your home. You have, like, all matching furniture. That, yeah. I max it out easy. I collected like every furniture set in the game.
Yeah.
I spent too much time playing that game. Like Caitlin's like, this is stupid. I don't need my house to look nice. I don't care, and I love it. Because that's what I love about Animal Crossing is me and Caitlin all play Animal Crossing 100% differently and all still had a good time.
Oh yeah, I spent all of my time like trying to upgrade everything in my town as much as possible. I didn't care about my house too much.
Tom Nook's, I hate Tom. Tom Nook sucks. I hate you, Tom Nook. Tom Nook, if you're watching this, I hate you.
Poor Tom Nook. I like you, Tom Nook.
Tom Nook's not a real person, but.
And I always made sure to make sure I played on a Saturday night so I could get a record from KK Slider.
Listen, I had no friends. What else was I going to do on Saturday night but go listen to KK Slider?
Heck yeah, dude. I'd always buy coffee every day.
Oh, yeah. I was bummed. I was going to go to... when I was with Caitlin last weekend, and I was going to go to... If I go to, I was going to log on and go to see KK Slider play, but I forgot to. Next time I'm out there with her, I'm 100% going to do it, though, because I miss it.
I used to have a tank that I want to try and find another shirt similar to it. That,
I forgot. You lost it?
It just doesn't fit me anymore.
Did it shrink?
Yeah.
Or did you grow?
A little of both.
I forgot about that tank. Was so cool.
It was a tank that looked like a concert poster for KK Slider's
I
performance.
forgot about that. You got that off Redbubble, I think.
Yeah, which I have. I like Redbubble a lot, but then I found out that most of the designs on there are stolen from other people and they're making money off of it. And I'm like, I feel grimy about that.
One time, Chris and I spent we got Godzilla on Blu-ray. This was 3 years ago.
We did not watch it.
We redboxed Godzilla, put it on the TV. Normally, when you say that, it's because we were making out. We weren't making out. Normally, they're like, oh, Godzilla didn't watch this. Oh, made out. No, Chris and I, we spent the first half of it modding a mod for Brawl called Product M.
Yeah, we were making
in.
custom builds for
using
Brawl.
Using a program called Brawlbox,
Yeah.
which I still have on my laptop for some stupid reason.
I actually do too.
And the second half we spent on Redbubble looking up T-shirts, which I think is the night you bought that tank.
I did order it that night, actually. Yeah.
I love Redbubble. I didn't know it. I haven't bought off Redbubble. I don't. think
No
I bought
regrets
anything
either.
off
I got a
Redbubble.
ton of compliments for that tank too.
Man, that's a bummer. Cause I've never, I don't think I've ever bought anything off Redbubble. Maybe one shirt. But
Yeah,
it's a bummer to hear.
I suddenly had after finding that out, I suddenly had a really hard time justifying purchasing things off of there. Although I'm weak and I still might.
They have some really cool animals. I want to get. They have Roosters shirts. It looks like an actual coffee house shirt.
That's the one I
always wanted to
want,
get.
man.
Yeah, I love Roosters.
That's the one I want. I think it's called the Roost, isn't it?
Or the Roost, yeah.
Yeah.
Roost. I think Roosters is an actual place.
Roosters.
I think Roosters is just an actual place.
Roosters is a restaurant.
Hooters is too. Completely different places.
Why would you bring that up?
Because I was thinking of Oost.
Your brain is somewhere else, man.
They're the exact same thing. Roosters and Hooters are
Hoosters.
Hoosters. Speaking of restaurants, we have a Patreon. There's not a connect. They make money. Patreon makes us a little bit of money. If you think about it long enough, you'll find a connection.
That was a bad segue.
Listen, it's a great segue. 'Cause it's a memorable segue.
It was a segue.
You'll never forget the time that I segued Hoosters into Patreon. We had
It's
one
like
of
a
those.
segue where one of the wheels doesn't really work and
It's a one wheeled
the
segue.
handlebars are broken.
I imagine Paul Blart just spinning in a circle on a one wheeled Segway.
I hate you. I hate this show. I quit.
Want to go to Twitter? Well, I have a Twitter. I guess Chris is quitting. So
I'm done.
don't follow Chris on Twitter. We have a Facebook account. Some other stuff.
Forever.
Thanks for watching. I've been Sam. That's been Chris.
I'm Chris.
A goodbye. No.
Don't want another drink.
11 o'clock at night.